Why should we build a brand? First of all, and the most important aspect is the psychological attachment. Okay, you go into a Nike store to buy sports apparel. That's right. But the thing is, you don't go to Nike just because Nike makes good quality products, right? You go to Nike because of what Nike makes you feel when you are wearing Nike. So this is the psychological attachment. You are attached to a brand, whether you want it or not, or whether you admit it or not. Brands can get very attached. You can get very attached to brands, and this is the most important aspect of building a strong brand. You build a brand to have a competitive advantage. So, if you take, for instance, let's take, for instance, the shade Ray-Ban, okay? I think that we've all heard of Ray-Ban, and I think that every time one of us wants to go and buy shades, we would mostly go and buy Ray-Bans because it has a competitive advantage. It's not just the shades by themselves, but because of the name associated with it and the quality associated with that name. Brands can also create a barrier to entry. So for instance, if you are on the market, okay, let's say you are, let's say, okay, you're an iPhone or you're an Android. Okay, how hard is it for someone else? Or you're a BlackBerry, okay, or a Nokia. So these are the 4 brands on the market. So how difficult is it for a brand called Celine, okay, to create mobile phones and or smartphones and just go into the market and sell like Apple is selling or like Android is selling? So brands create a barrier to entry because people know these brands, they associate with them. A brand also promotes loyalty, and by that we mean that whenever you like a brand, you are going to stick to that brand. Exactly, Ahmed. It's the same as Coke or Pepsi. Absolutely. A brand also aids segmentation. So it helps you define who your target market is, because we all know that we can't offer everything for everybody. We can't be everything to everybody. So we have to know who we are and to whom. So this is why it's very important to have a brand to aid segmentation. It gives you identity as a company. Just imagine yourself called Company X, okay, instead of being, let's, for instance, called Potential, or called Google, or called Aramex. And finally, a brand creates internal direction and loyalty, which means that your own employees, your own company would have the same goal, it will have the same message to convey throughout all of the departments, and then you know that your employees will know that they follow a brand. Working with Google is one thing, working with Company X is something else.